Everyone in the crowd sought to touch him because power came forth from him, and he healed them all. Greetings, everyone. The weekend before last, I had a wedding. I had a wedding on Martha's Vineyard, which is a small island off the coast of Massachusetts, for those of you viewing from far away and don't know the geography of this part of the country. It was an interfaith marriage. The groom was a parishioner of mine, and the young lady was from a couple of towns away. An interfaith marriage on Martha's Vineyard, which is not the easiest place to get to. And that was a bit of the situation that we had to deal with. Myself and the other clergyman, because we lived so far away, he lived on the island, we never had a chance to actually sit down and meet. But we had made arrangements to meet at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because the wedding was to be celebrated at 2. Because I had the 4 o'clock Mass in my own parish on Saturday and a meeting that I couldn't change, I wasn't able to get over to the island until later that evening. And so there wasn't even going to be what you would call a proper wedding rehearsal. And so tentatively, I had worked out with the bride and the groom that what we'll do is this. By the time I get to the island, you'll probably be at the tail end of the rehearsal dinner. The three of us will sit down, go through things very, very quickly, and then share that information with the bridal party. I had made arrangements to meet the other clergymen at about 1:10 in the church. Well, I got to the church on Sunday afternoon at about 1. I did indeed meet some of the bridal party. We started to go through things again, but in the middle of our little rehearsal, the other clergymen arrived. So I kind of gave them instructions and said, just do this a couple of times. Decide where you're going to sit. This is the order you need to come down the island. And they were working over here. The clergyman and I were meeting over there to go through our part of the ceremony, taking turns, making sure that everything was done prayerfully and with great dignity for this very holy and important moment. I was giving the homily, and the sound people in the church that we were using for the wedding didn't have a clip-on mic for me to use, so they were scrambling around doing sound checks. Well, at about 1:25, I took just a moment from the meeting that I was having with the other clergymen to look up, and there were probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people in the church working feverishly to make sure that this wedding would take off on time and properly at 2 o'clock. Working feverishly. The sound people, the custodians rearranging furniture, the bridal party doing their rehearsal, the clergyman and I going through our notes. Labor. It was labor intensive. I looked at the gospel that the Lord shares with us this day. And I see Jesus working in the very beginning of his ministry, and there's so much going on. He knows that the love that he has for his Father's people will generate work, and he will need help. And so from his disciples, he calls 12. 12 individuals who will watch him and stay with him so that they indeed can be there to assist him in his work. A work that begins even on that day. Everyone in the crowd came to listen to him. Everyone in the crowd came to touch him. Everyone in the crowd came to be healed by him because power came from him, and he healed them all. My friends, if indeed there is a message in this gospel, and how lucky are we that there is always a message in the gospel, I think the message is this: that Jesus seeks to heal us. He seeks to heal us in so many ways. He seeks to heal us from past wounds and hurts. He seeks to fill the void that in some way is a part of all of our lives at times. He seeks to be the one whose hand we see constantly stretched out, reaching toward us so that he can indeed make us strong. He labors for us all the time. Why? So that we, in turn, can labor for one another. So that we, in turn, can accept His grace and be His vehicles. Each and every time we do what He did, pray, we become stronger. We hear His voice and we respond. He labors in us so that we, in turn, can always be there for one another.